Hey, what is up guys, it's Rob. Hope you're doing really good out there. Today I'm going to be checking out the Lekato wireless WS70 system. Lekato reached out to me recently and offered to send me this to test out, and I'm really excited to do so. I've been looking into trying to get a wireless system for my live setup for quite a while, and I just haven't really gotten around to it, so I'm pretty excited to test this one out. I believe this one is around about 40 British pounds on Amazon, that sort of price, so it's not an overly expensive one, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to be good, so I'm pretty excited to test it out. Like I said, it's basically a transmitter and a receiver. You plug the transmitter in your guitar, the receiver into your amp or pedals, and you're pretty much good to go. Apparently it pairs pretty quickly. It's called the WS70. WS, I assume, stands for Wireless System 70, because apparently you can use up to 70 of these at the same time without any signal interference or anything like that, which is pretty crazy. The thing that really attracted me to this in the first place was the apparent less than 3 millisecond delay and latency, because if you're going to use a wireless system, or if I was going to use a wireless system, the things that would be most important to me if I was going to use one would be any latency and any tone sort of, alteration. We don't want any tone alteration. We want to try and keep the tone as good as possible. So that's what I'm going to be checking out and looking at today. It's got a total range of 25 to 40 meters, which I think is pretty generous. I mean, if I was going to use my wireless system, if I was going to use this live on stage, I'm probably not going to be 25 to 40 meters away from my amp or my pedals. So, that's more than enough for my capabilities. Both the transmitter and the receiver have a little LED display on the side of them, which lets you know your battery life, which I think is a pretty cool thing. As soon as you turn it on, it shows you what the battery is like for both parts, so you know whether you're pretty much good to go or whether it needs charging before you can use it. And obviously it comes with the USB charging cable. So that's pretty much everything there is to know about this Lekato system. So let's open the box and see what's inside. So here we are, here's the box a little bit closer up, and it's got a little bit more information about the product on the back, but let's open it up and see what it looks like inside. Just like that. So firstly, we have the instructions on how to use them, and then on the inside, obviously you can see the transmitter and the receiver there, neatly packaged. Looks pretty cool, looks nice and snug. So let's just pull these out, and there should be the charging cable in here somewhere. I imagine it's in this little bit here. Again, in a nice little box. It's actually pretty good packaging, this. So this thing retails for roughly around about 40 British pounds, 40 to 45 anyway, which I think is a pretty reasonable price for a wireless if it's obviously if it's good, which is what we're gonna be looking at. So yeah, there's the cable. You got a USB on one side, and then obviously two sides to plug, one in the receiver, one in the transmitter. So as you can see, we've got the receiver and the transmitter here a little bit closer up, and the receiver has a picture of an amp on the front of it, so you know which side to plug that into, and the transmitter has a picture of a guitar on the front of it, so obviously you know where to plug this one. And the thing about this is, even though it's a guitar picture and we're going to be using this with a guitar, I'm pretty sure you could probably use this with any other instrument that uses this sort of input, perhaps a keyboard or something like that. You could probably make that wireless as well. I don't see why not. And the jack side of it is retractable and movable, which I think is a pretty cool thing. So obviously once you've got it plugged into your amp or your guitar, you can sort of adjust how you actually want this to sit on your instrument, because obviously guitars have jack inputs in different places. So, whether your jack is on the front of the guitar or the side or the rim or anything like that, you can adjust it so that it's sitting in a comfortable position. And the same with your amp as well. You might not want this sticking up on top of your amp. You might want it sort of off to the side so it doesn't get knocked or anything like that. So it's pretty cool that you can move this about. Anyway, let's get these turned on. Obviously there's just a button on either of them there, like a little circle button. Hopefully you can see that. And I believe you just press and hold for a minute. Let's just turn the transmitter on first. So I pressed and held that, and now you can see there's a green LED light there. And if I press the receiver, there's a green LED light on there. So they're both working. By the way, this is straight out of the box. I haven't charged this up, so they come already charged, which again is pretty cool. And as far as I'm aware, these are probably now paired already, because if there's a static green light, I'm pretty sure that means it's paired. If it was a flashing green light, I think that's when it's searching. So as I said earlier, there's a little display on the side here, which shows you your battery life. I believe if I double click this, that shows me that this battery life icon is saying that it's charged. There we go. So the transmitter is pretty much fully charged, and so is the receiver. Hopefully you can see that. And that's pretty much all there is to the actual units themselves. And obviously the little input there where you would plug the charger on both the transmitter and the receiver. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to plug it in, I'm going to test it out. I'm going to be looking at the latency and seeing if there's any latency noticeable anyway whilst I'm playing. Also, I'm going to listen to the tone and see how it sounds generally using the WS70 straight into my computer with a GarageBand preset guitar tone. So let's check out how that sounds first, and then I'm going to grab my cable and I'm going to play about on the same tone and all that sort of thing, so I can sort of compare the tones A and B to check if there's any difference between the wireless and the cable tone. So let's check that out now. So firstly, I'm not noticing any delay or any latency. It says less than 3 milliseconds on the box. So if that's what it is, I doubt anybody is even going to notice that. So, you know, it's good to see that the box is telling the truth. And for my ears anyway, I can't hear any latency whilst I'm playing. As soon as I play, the sound is right there. I don't know if that would get any worse if I was further away. Obviously, I'm literally about a meter away from my computer now where I'm plugged in there. So I don't know if the further away that I went, the signal would sort of be a little bit more delayed, a little bit more latency perhaps. And I don't really think that this sounds too bad. So like I said, now I'm going to very quickly just compare this tone to the cable. So I'm going to play something with the wireless and then I'll play the same thing with the cable so you can hear the difference and we can just sort of see how that is sounding. So let's check that out now. go guys, there is the Lekato WS70 wireless system, and do you know what? I'm quite impressed for the price point. £40-ish, I don't know how much that is in dollars. I'm gonna guess 40 odd pounds is probably about 50 US dollars, something like that. Could be wrong. I don't think it's that bad, in all honesty. I obviously didn't test the range, and that's something that I'm gonna be testing when I play some gigs, because I've got some gigs coming up in my band, so I'm definitely going to be trying this live on stage. So I think that will be a really good test to see how well this does. I can obviously plug my equipment in, and then I could probably walk to the back of the room, that sort of thing, and see if I'm still getting signal to my guitar. So maybe I will do an update on this from a gig perspective, but just sitting here, plugging it into my computer and having a play, I'm really impressed at how well this works. Especially, like I said, you turn it on, you press these buttons and they pair immediately. You don't have to do any faffing about or anything like that. You can just pretty much turn them on and they're good to go. You can press the button, by the way, if you're getting any interference. I forgot to mention earlier, if you are getting any interference, let's just say from certain frequencies or wherever you are, then you can press the button on the transmitter, just tap it once, and that will try and skip to a different frequency so that you can hopefully try and avoid that. Now, the comparison between the wireless and the cable, I think, and you'll probably have your own opinion of this, so please let me know in the comments what you did think of the comparison between the cable and the wireless. I don't think it was that bad. I think there might have been a slight bit of signal loss with the wireless as opposed to the cable. And when I say signal loss, I mainly mean gain loss. I feel like there was a little bit less gain on the overall signal. The signal was still there and it was strong and everything like that, but a little bit less gain. That was just to my ears as I was playing. And when I edit this video, I'll probably get an even better idea of the comparison, because I'll literally be able to hear it back to back. Obviously, whilst I was playing, I had to play like this and then swap the cable. So there was a little bit of, palette cleansing in between. I think this passes the test. I'm really impressed with this. So I just want to say thank you to Lekato for sending me this to try out. I've really enjoyed using it, and I'm going to enjoy using it again in the future. And if you're interested in trying the Lekato WS70 wireless system, I will leave a link in the description to where you can go and pick one up. Anyway guys, thanks for watching the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave it a like, leave me a comment, let me know what you think. Subscribe to my channel if you're new, and hopefully I'll see you next time.